I think you'd played bad after letting 4 goals in. I've always felt I played really, really well because if I didn't, he would have got 10 that night.
Remember these goals?
Quick shot, wide of the net. Gretzky scores! Gretzky inside. Score! Check, here's Gretzky looking for a break. Score! Cutting inside of Hoffmeyer. Score! 5 seconds. He's moving in. Score! Into that foot.
Well, Pete Peeters does.
We just watched history here. I'll tell you, I don't know anybody ever going to break that.
And he talks about them in this episode of I Was in Net 4. Pete Peeters is no stranger to being between the pipes for a goal that ends up getting played for years to come. He was there when Bob Nystrom scored his Stanley Cup winning overtime goal. He was also in there when some guy named Mario Lemieux scored his first goal on his first shift on his first shot.
His first shot on goal, and he scores!
But both of those goals pale in comparison to being between the pipes in a game where Wayne Gretzky would set a record he would later go on to call
the hardest record for anyone to beat.
50-39.
The Great One entered the 39th game of the season just 5 goals away from 50. He had also scored 10 goals in the 4 games leading up to their game against the Flyers, and that was just fine with Peeters.
It was a challenge for me. It was a personal challenge. I never was thinking of 50. It was just the stuff that I was seeing. It was a fun night for me. And I know that sounds silly, but I got to go one-on-one with the best guy in the world at that time. So I saw it as fun or a challenge.
And Gretzky got right to work. He scored 2 goals in the first period and added his third in the second.
Well, we might see the 50 yet, Tim. I tell you, this guy is amazing. What more can you say?
Gretzky that night was in the ozone somewhere, like some of the stuff he was pulling off. It was amazing to be on the ice and to be able to say, yeah, I just went on one-on-one with Wayne Gretzky in the prime of his career, having an unbelievable night myself, even though I let 4 in. Knowing that he probably could have got 10. And, I got to rate myself on that particular night. I never thought of myself as a superstar, but I thought I did pretty good against him.
And that is the part of the story that rarely gets talked about. Even after Gretzky scored his 4th goal of the game, Peeters was doing his best to put history on hold.
To Gretzky moving in front, and he hit Peeters with it. Coffee now to Gretzky. Oh, Peeters! A save. Gretzky was in on top of it.
But it was one small thing that Peeters noticed that would never make it onto a highlight reel that really stuck in his mind from this game.
There was one instance when he was attacking, and I was looking at him, and I'm like, what are you looking at? Like he was looking up in the stands behind me. Like, that's what it looked like to me. And I'm like, okay, so the play stops, and I'm thinking, boy, there really must be an attractive lady up there somewhere. So I turned around and I looked. No, he was looking for the trailer because he was using the glass as a mirror to see who was coming late. And I was like, this guy is too much.
Now Gretzky was also getting a lot of help. Not only were his teammates giving him the puck at every opportunity, but head coach Glenn Sather pretty much left him on the ice.
Well, I was fortunate enough to play for Glenn in the '84 Canada Cup, and Slats knew what he had to do for each player. Whether it was a kick in the bum or, pat on the shoulder or, like you said, keep him on the ice. But I really got a respect for Glenn Sather and his psychological abilities to read players.
But let's not forget, there was a hockey game being played here. With the Oilers up 6-5 late in the game, Philly head coach Pat Quinn did what most coaches do. He pulled his goalie.
That was the only time I think I ever questioned my coach, because he pulled me for the extra attacker. And I said, Pat, I don't want to come out. If he's going to score the 50, he's got to earn it. I said, if you pull me, I said, I guarantee you, he will score in the empty net.
And just like Peeters predicted, Gretzky took advantage.
I just knew it was coming. And so I was kind of watching him, and we had pressure on them in the zone. And then he read who was going to get the puck. I'm sitting on the bench, and I'm like, he's going to get it. He is going to get it. And sure enough, there he goes on this. Barber was chasing him, and I remember Barber was thinking about throwing a stick to knock the puck off, but, you know, he would have been awarded the goal anyways. Yeah, he scored in the empty net, and I'm trying to remember who mugged him first, if it was Messier or whatever. The place just went nuts, eh?
Quick peek at the replay shows it was actually Yari Curry, followed by the rest of the Oilers, who, funny enough, got a bench penalty for celebrating.
Yeah, like that was really going to hurt them that night.
So 50 goals in 39 games, and here we are 39 years later. But Peeters only looks back at that game with fond memories.
I don't think negative thoughts when I see it, because I realize, you know, what a pleasure it was to play against him. And in '84, I got to play with him. Yeah, God gave him a lot more talent than he gave everybody else.